Hey guys, it's Lego Boys E3. Today I'm going to show you how to lubricate a speedcube 4x4. Okay, so today I'm going to be making an in-depth and hopefully pretty quick tutorial on how to lubricate and tension a speedcube 4x4. And so this will work with pretty much any speedcube 4x4 these days. This is the New Island Windstorm, however this will also work with something like an Ausu. I've actually used this exact same method on a couple Moyu cubes before. So it'll work with pretty much anything, but let's get started. So first up, just make sure you have the lube that you need. I'm using some weight 2 in the pieces to make it really fast, and some weight 4 in the core. If you only have one type of lube, that'll work too. So now you can get your screwdriver and just start taking apart the 4x4, one side at a time. Okay, so now that the cube is totally disassembled, that piece, we can move all these pieces out of the way and grab all of the center pieces. So you're going to want the screw and spring for each piece, as well as this main center piece and the piece that goes around it. So you should have 6 pairs of those. Move all these off to the side. Okay, so here we go. We can put the core off to the side here. So we're going to start off with these pieces. We're going to put a little bit of weight 4 inside where the screw and spring is, much like we did on a 3x3. It doesn't matter that much because the screw actually doesn't spin around. It just stays in one place. But I'm just going to do it anyway. And so we get the weight 4 out. And this cube actually doesn't have washers, so it makes it pretty simple. What we do is we just push it a little bit out at the very end there. Oh, there we go. That was a lot. And then just put it down in the tiny little track at the bottom there. And then we can get a little bit and put it right on the screw itself. So I like to do it just like along there. And then we can get the spring, put it in, and put the piece in just like that. It's that simple. And now just repeat that with all the pieces. So you see we have a little bit of weight 4 at the tip there. Put it in like that. Get the screw. Put a little bit more right there. Spring on and into the piece. So just repeat that with all the 6 pieces. Okay, there's the last one. Now we can retract that weight 4 up and then take the tip off, and we don't need the weight 4 anymore. Just put the cap back on. Okay, so we're not going to need the lube right now anymore, and so what we're going to do is we're going to get each individual center, put the little circle thing around it like that, and put it onto the core. So you see you can just turn it around until it gets locked on. There should be a little bit of a notch right there. Yeah, there we go. And so now we have the screw right here, and we can just screw it in most of the way. And so right now I don't really know what tension I want this cube to be at. If you want to check what tension it's at, you can pull the pieces apart and see how much extra you have right there. That's the tension. I'm just going to keep it at this for now, and I'm going to screw all the rest of the center pieces back on and try and get them about equal to this. Okay, and there we go. So now what we can do is we can get the weight 2 out, the thinner stuff. And we can open it up like this, put the same tip on. It doesn't really matter if you use a new one or not. There we go, just like that. Move that off to the side. And now we're just going to lubricate right inside of all the little tracks where the pieces spin around, the center pieces. And so get a little bit of lube out there and put it right along the track right there. There we go. And now you can spin it around a little bit and it should stick right there if you have enough. So I'm going to put a little bit more on and move it around, and you see it sticks right there. And so that's how we want it to be because it makes assembling a lot easier. So now we can do that with every single side. A little bit on the track right there. And just move it up like that. And there we go. So all the pieces should kind of stick up there. Just like that. And so it doesn't matter if a couple of them fall down because it's kind of hard to prevent it from doing that. So we can just set the lube off to the side for now, and we can begin to assemble the cube. So I'm going to assume that you know, for the most part, how to assemble it because it is pretty simple and you should know how to do it. If you're lubricating your cube, pretty much you start off with an edge piece, and the edge piece is like this, and then you just keep going along doing one little corner section at a time. So this part can be pretty frustrating, trying to get all the little pieces to line up right at the same time, but if you just keep going and be patient, you should eventually get it, and there we go. Okay, now once you have it mostly assembled, note that you can have it scrambled as long as all the corners are in the right place. You can get your lube back out, get a little bit right there, and just put a little bit inside the mechanism. It doesn't really matter where you put it, just make sure you don't put too much, because you don't want to have too much lube. There we go. Put it all along in there. There we go. Now we can assemble the cube back up again. And mine is definitely too tight because I cannot get the last piece in. So now what we can do is we can just adjust all the sides equally. So I'm going to do a little bit on that, a little bit on that, and just do the same exact thing on all sides. There we go. Now I can fit the piece in. And it is definitely a little bit loose now, but I can tighten it up a little bit later. And so just turn the cube a little bit, make sure the lube is how you like it. I can tell the middle layer definitely feels very dry, and so I can put a little bit in there. And so there we go. I just went around to all the sides, made sure they're all equal, and make sure they're all how I like it, and they all seem pretty good. And then I broke in the lube and kind of spread it around a bunch by just solving it. And there we go. So that is how you lubricate your 4x4. I can put this away now. Pretty much, it's just like a 3x3, except a little extra steps, because the centers are a little bit different, and the assembly of it is also a little bit different. And so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. If it helped you at all, and if you liked it, then be sure to leave a like down below to show me that you liked it. Leave some suggestions down in the comment below for more videos that I can make like this in the future, and also stay subscribed to be notified when another video like this comes out. And I'll see you guys next time.